And we are back on the chosen baseball journey. I'm your host, Jonathan A. Hacohen, partner at Kormans LLP law firm in Ontario, Canada, author of the Bible 3.0, the Six Commandments of the Chosen Life, which you can pick up at Barnes & Noble, Indigo, and Amazon. And with me today, as always, is the future king of McAllen, Texas, former MLB great, slugger and sensation, Karim Garcia. Karim, welcome back.
Thank you, my brother. Happy always to be back over here.
Well, I see from the shirt you're supporting over in McAllen, and you've been busy with the baseball camps this year. So a lot of times people are messaging me. They're like, "Hey, Karim Garcia, what is he up to these days?" So Karim, what are you up to these days?
Well, right now I'm doing some baseball camps with kids from Laredo, Texas, and McAllen, Texas, 8 to 18. So I divided in two groups, 8 to 12, 13 to 18. I work with them in the mornings, and I go work with the other kids in the afternoons. So I've been very busy for the last couple of weeks, and I have one more week to go. A lot of hours on the sun. I mean, I love it. These kids are phenomenal. I'm seeing some very good prospects over here that I'm taking videos. But hey, if you ever need an agent, let me know. I know a couple of them. So let's do it.
I always think if I'm going to grow a baseball prospect in the United States of America, I would pick Texas, Florida, and California. Those would be the three states hotbed I would think for baseball.
What about Arizona?
That's true. Arizona. I keep forgetting about Arizona. Steve would be shooting me right now. But there's something funny. To me, it always begins Texas, California. There's something magical about these states, and of course, California brings to the proximity to California, understandable. But what is it about Texas that they grow the best baseball players? The best football players. What's in the water in Texas?
Well, they create monsters over here all the time because I mean it's always hot. I mean the weather to get cold over here is probably in December. It's for about 2 weeks, if that. So every day, the whole year, you can go outside and practice sports. I mean, it's 100 degrees, 110 degrees, but I mean, everybody's doing it. If you want to succeed in life and sports, you have to put up the time and you have to put up all you can. Take whatever you can, and whoever is teaching you, just listen and take it all in to learn more and more every single time.
So speaking of monsters, by the way, you happen to mention, we're going to be discussing one of baseball's most famous monsters. And I said last week that we're going to talk about your favorite umpire and that he recently retired. Anybody watching who follows baseball knew I was lying, but the one and only Angel Hernandez. So you're talking about Anthony Rizzo being the whipping boy in New York right now. Angel Hernandez has been a name that you just say the name and people roll their eyes. Just like when you walk in the streets of Canada, when you say the name Justin Trudeau, everybody rolls their eyes right away. I don't know one person who has voted for him in the election. My friend, have you ever met someone in baseball that liked Angel Hernandez?
No, he's definitely the one and only. He's a special person, a very, very special person. They worked no, 3 decades from baseball. So imagine that, all the suffering that he put through all these guys in baseball, including me, because I had it a few times, well, not a few, quite a few times in behind home plate. And if you just say something, even if you don't turn around, and I tell him, hey, I think the ball is outside. What are you talking about? That ball is strike. I'm telling you it's a strike. He wasn't a very good person to talk. I mean, you couldn't even say something without him getting excited about it.
Well, I took a few notes on Mr. Hernandez here, which I know you're going to love. So I'm going to save these for you. So, first of all, a Cuban American umpire. So, a lot of good baseball came out of Cuba, but apparently the umpiring was not. He made it very clear that he took a package from MLB at the age of 62. His lawyer made it very clear that he was not kicked out, tried to emphasize that. This year, in correct call rate, ranked 67 out of 85 umpires. But by the end of last year, he was ranked dead last, right near the end of his tenure. So you don't hear very often about umpires retiring immediately at the age of 62 during the season, but he made so many bad calls, from the worst ever for pitch tracking. Tell me, Kareem, was it a big shock to you to hear that Angel Hernandez was walking away?
It was a big shock to me knowing that he was coming back actually after he got on a fight with MLB trying to sue him. So I thought that he wasn't coming back. They were gonna put him on, I don't know, some type of leave, pay leave or something like that. He comes back and starts doing the same thing that he's always been doing. I guess MLB got fed up and put a package for him to finally retire, go home, and spend time with his. I'm sure he's a lovely family that he has, and he's a good person outside baseball. There, so yes, umpiring, he made lot of bad calls, and like I said, the machine doesn't lie. It's right there, and the radio's right there.
Hernandez started as an NL umpire in 1991, has been in the majors overall since 2000. Now, as far as his reasoning, he said he wanted to spend more time with his family. Okay, that was the reasoning. The
Mm-hmm.
quote was, since he started in 1991, he's had a very good experience of living his childhood dream of bad umpiring. So, I mean, umpiring in the major leagues. There's nothing better than working in a profession you enjoy. I treasure the camaraderie of my colleagues and friendships I made along the way, including our locker room attendants at the various cities. I decided I want to spend more time with my family. Needless to say, there have been many positive changes in the game of baseball since I first entered the profession. This includes the expansion and promotion of minorities. I am proud that I was able to be an active participant in that goal while being a major league umpire. One of the things that really left a bad taste in my mouth is bad umpiring and saying that it was racism of why they were singling him out. I don't care what his culture, religion, language, gender, bad work is bad work, period. End of discussion. But how did he manage to keep a job since 1991, Karim Garcia?
Because he was a minority. That's probably why. And major leagues were trying to stand everywhere, globally, worldwide. That's why they kept him and kept a few other umpires that actually little by little were retiring. Because I remember this umpire that he passed away in during the field. He was super heavy. I can't remember his name. It was a black umpire, and he got a heart attack right there because he was overweight. And I thought one time that Joe West, who continued to gain weight as the years went on, was going to happen the same thing to him, And you're worried about those guys because they can really slim, real skinny through the first few years, and all of a sudden they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I mean, if they don't put it through a weight regimen, this is going to happen again. And like I mentioned, I'm going a little out of subject, but I'm going for minorities. Last Diaz is another guy that's Cuban too. That he has a decent career as an umpire, and I mean I can think of a few other ones, but it's good for Angel to finally retire, put this behind him, and it's good for the game of baseball. I hope he enjoys his family, but I thought the Major League took it a little way too long to get rid of him.
And I think that lawsuit didn't help matters. I have it written down here that he said that the league manipulating the performance of Mr. Hernandez and other minority umpires. So that's prevented minority umpires from becoming crew chiefs. How he could accuse, if you watch his calls, saying that MLB manipulated his performance, I think he manipulated his own performance, and grouping him with anybody else, I think, is unfair to minority or any other umpires because he was like you said, he was a very, very special umpire onto himself.
Yes, and like if you do good during the season, they give you the opportunity to go to the American League Championship Series, to the National League Championship Series, ALCS, whatever you want to call it, or the World Series. And Hernandez started in 1991, like you mentioned, and he worked only two World Series, one in 2002, one in 2005, and had three All-Star games, 99, 2009, and 2017. Eight ALCS, his last one, 2016. So after 2016, they realized that he wasn't doing any good calls and never put him back on the playoffs. Or someone complained, or a lot of people complained, not to have him behind home plate or anywhere in the bases.
And he filed that lawsuit in 2017. So here we are 7 years later. And he was saying that because of discrimination, he had not been assigned to a World Series since 2005 and had not been made a crew chief. Well, when your performance is near the bottom of all the umpires, I don't think it's a big surprise. And that's where I was saying, another week that, you know what, rating umpires, they're talking about the robot umpires, right? That they're testing out in the minor leagues. Having a robot umpire rating system and seeing, let's say whatever amount of umpires, I don't know if there's like 100, 120, whoever, how many umpires they have going at once, but you rate them as far as where they are all year, including the minors. And by the end of the year, the worst 10, 15 get dropped to AAA, and the top 10, 15 get promoted to the majors, and having relegation like in soccer
Sorry.
is not the worst thing for baseball, because to me, that's the only solution how you can avoid the robot umpires. Because as long as you keep these umpires that are rating so poorly like Hernandez was, I think you're not going to have a choice but to go to robot umpires one day behind the plate. And it's going to take a lot of the fun out of the game, in my estimation.
Yes, it is. You have to keep the humans in there, the human point of view, the tag, everything. That's the fun part. I mean, we all as a humans, we're going to make mistakes. Just not that many mistakes like he did. That's the only thing. And the other one is right here that I read about is in game three of the divisional series in the American League between the Yankees, the New York Yankees, and the Boston Red Sox, Hernandez had three different calls reversed on first base, not behind the plate, on first base. Imagine that. But I mean, I understand in behind the plate, balls and strikes. Maybe you didn't put attention very well, or you're not concentrated. But on first base, where you have the whole plate in front of you, three of them in the same game,
Not so good. Not so good.
not.
Do you remember, looking back in your memory bank, do you remember the first game you ever had with Angel Hernandez?
I want to probably forget it. I uh, I think the first time I met Angel Fernandez wasn't in the best situation for me. I think we have something to discuss. I don't remember what I did, and I think I was with Detroit if I don't recall, but if I will recall, but I think that's what happens. Yeah.
It would make sense in the Detroit days. And I miss Detroit Tiger Karim Garcia. Those fans loved you, eh?
Yes, they did. I was I was a little crazy. I was enjoying baseball way too much.
That's okay. Listen, so did they Jason Giambi for his reasons. Everybody's got their reasons, but it's nice to watch players with a smile on their face and enjoying to the game. So I gotta ask you as we end today's episode, if Angel Hernandez now stepped into your room and sat down across from you and said, Kareem, I'm Angel Hernandez, and he recognized you, what would you say to him today if you met him in your room, if you met him on the street?
I really say hello to him, because one thing is his job as an umpire and whatever he puts into the game, and another is the person outside baseball, They can be probably the nicest, greatest person of all time, that you ever met. But once they put that mask that we say, or the uniform, they completely change. So I'm sure that he's a really nice guy, but there's nothing I would say back to him. Whatever I had to say, I told him on the game, in the field. So
But did you have certain umpires when you were playing the game that when you saw they were umpiring, you said to yourself, I'm feeling a lot better about this. I like this person, or I like their professionalism. Were there certain umpires that stood out to you?
It was a few of them that I always come and when they were behind home plate, I feel that I was going to have a good game because they were really, they had a great songs. And there was a couple other umpires like Angel, sometimes Last Diaz, or CB. Those three guys probably three of the worst umpires that I've seen in major leagues. They can have a good song 1 minute, and the next at bat they completely lost the song, and it's just especially when you're trying to win games or hit the ball stuff like that. And these guys are not they are taking pitches from you, and another there's a ball instead of strike, and that I hate it all the time. And I did complain. I did complain. I won't say I never complain. I did complain, and I get upset just like anybody else.
Did you have an umpire that you disliked more than Angel Hernandez?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, they probably threw me out twice in the major leagues.
Do you remember his name?
I can't remember his name. I don't remember how it looked like.
And you recall your favorite umpire?
So, yeah, I like Teddy Barrett. I like Ted Barrett.
And what was it
Uh,
about him that you liked?
he's always really professional, really nice. And I saw him in the minor league, and I made it to the major leagues. After that, he made it to the major leagues, and I went over there. I went out of my way. Say, hey, Teddy, good to see you. Congratulations. And he goes, oh, thank you, Karim. Congratulations to you too for being over here. Continue the good job, good work. Stay healthy and stay here. And so it was, every time I went to home plate when he was in home plate, I was, hey, Teddy, how you doing? Good, Karim. Let's work. Just like that. I mean, it's always professional. And he has a good dress. I mean, he dresses really nice for the games. You should have seen him a few times.
Yeah, did he have
Right up,
the three-piece suit on?
yeah, he's a big guy. So it looks pretty cool.
There are some good ones out there.
Yeah.
It's funny, when everybody says, "Oh, I hate umpires," there are actually some good ones out there. There are some ones I see that the catchers know them, the pitchers know them. There's a bit of an understanding, and even sometimes you ever see where an umpire misses a call, they kind of give the nod, saying, "I'll get you on the next one." There's a unwritten understanding. I kind of noticed that.
Yes, it is. Sometimes you can just look back and you're like, and he's like, yeah, they just nodded a little bit. You don't have to say anything. They know that they missed the call, but it's fine. As long as they know it, you're a little more, at ease with yourself.
There we go. And that's Angel Hernandez's story. And we're going to wish Mr. Hernandez well as he's at 62 and taking his package and going to go move to Tahiti or Bali or wherever he's going. And hopefully he's not going to be umpiring any minor league or softball games at this point. Hopefully he just hangs it up and maybe he'll go learn golf or poker or anything but umpiring. So good luck, Angel Hernandez. When we come back next week, Kareem is not going to click on baseball reference. He's not going to look this up because we're going to be quizzing him big time. And our discussion for next week on magical chapter number 116 is Kareem's favorite and least favorite ballparks and why. Stay tuned. This is the Chosen Baseball Journey.